I've been watching the videos of one Raven Masterson for quite some time now. From what I can tell, she's a former sex worker living in her car in the Los Angeles area. I believe she has a website called Topless in LA, and she's really good at making enemies online, I've noticed. She goes on the attack, makes these videos in which she goes off on various tangents, grouping people together, pigeonholing, saying bigoted nonsense as a way of trying to defend her positions, her own beliefs. For instance, even though she's black, she's made hateful comments time and again against the black community. Yeah, and she's made hateful generalizations about white folks also, made ignorant comments about both women and men, made attack videos about homosexuals and trans women. A recent video of hers is titled "Elites Pushing Homosexuality to Make Ancient Roman Human Sacrifice Normal," in which she trots out the usual nonsense about homosexuality. It's unnatural, it's a mental illness. She tries to link homosexuality to paedophilia. It's common fair bigotry masquerading as common sense. Some of her views are straight out of the 1950s. But Raven has figured out why all this is happening, why American society is being invaded by gays and trannies. It's an Illuminati agenda to replace women. And she talks about Roman times like she's a sage on the ancient world, yet almost every time she opens her mouth it's clear she's lacking any real understanding of antiquity. Maybe she should try reading some actual books written by actual scholars sometime, rather than conspiracy theories posted by cranks on various websites pretending to be news sources. In this video with the title I mentioned, she goes on to talk about Bohemian Grove and the dark elites worshipping dark deities, pushing for the societal acceptance of human sacrifice. It's a slippery slope. First homosexuality, then paedophilia gets accepted, then beastophilia, eventually human sacrifice. That's how Raven sees it going. If you watch one of her videos, the longer rambly ones, all the way through, you'll see that she repeats herself quite a lot. She goes over the same ground again and again, but she isn't strictly one-dimensional in what she says, in what she talks about. She's big into the whole spirituality occult scene and clearly sees herself as an expert in this area. How did I become aware of this person? I do some trawling on this site, and I don't just pay attention to the more popular users. I search in the undergrowth of YouTube, so to speak, and sometimes I find these fascinating and disturbing people, like the person I'm talking about here. It's interesting to see, once you've watched a few of her uploads, if you can bear it. Yeah, it's interesting to see her worldview and how it informs her behaviours and interactions. It's abundantly clear she's having regular run-ins with the authorities, and she sees cultist or spiritual symbols and power everywhere, all around her. She believes in demons and shadow people. So perhaps you would be tempted to write this woman off as batshit insane, a crazy homeless lady. Well, for me, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's going on in her head. I know that much of what is coming out of her mouth is certainly disturbing. I'm going to link to her channel in the description and check it out if you like. My advice would be, don't try to engage with this person in the comments or in messages. I have not done that myself, but I have seen her interactions with others from an outside perspective. She seems paranoid and reactionary, quick to form simple judgments about people with no real evidence. So, yeah, don't try to connect would be my advice. Just listen to her talk and ramble. Take in the worldview. Yeah. Personally, I do feel bad for her. I do. Looking past, or trying to look past, some of the reprehensible things she says, I see a damaged person looking to make sense of a complex and dangerous world.